Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Oh, I need to get rid of Mason. I fixed the nameplates, and I forget that Mason has not going to be here for today. My own fault. Alrighty. So, last time we left off with Mason and Nox in the forest with the Enchantress. But we're going to shift back over to Fenrir in Ivorydale. Alrighty, so Fenrir is over still in the inn. So, Fenrir, you wake up early the next night, and you wake up, look around all drearily, and there is a letter that has been slipped under your door. That was the word I was looking for. Door.
Okay, he'll open it up and read it to himself. It's still full wolf form. Luckily no one caught him, it's fine.
The letter reads as follows. Going to do research, leaving town for a little bit. Meet us on the outskirts when you wake up. Signed, Mason and Nox. However, I will point out that Nox's signature is not actually his signature, as it is still Mason's handwriting.
And I was thinking, I don't think I've seen either of their handwriting, so I'm just gonna need to trust that it wasn't someone who knew what names to sign and what door to slip it under. But, shrug. He'll go back into human form and head that direction. Now would be a good time to head there, right? Even though it's almost night.
It says when you wake up, so.
Yeah, so hopefully they thought I would wake up now. Yeah.
So you wake up and you begin to leave town. Nothing of interest. And you go out of the town and you begin to wander around the outskirts of the town. There are many travelers traveling upon paths that aren't like official routes. And as your disheveled self, they all look wearily at you as you pass them by, and as you're just basically going around this town trying to find Nox and Mason. After some time, it is pretty far into the night, and you see... Yes?
So while he's going around the people, I was speaking to a muted mic, my bad. He's definitely gonna be sniffing around.
Mm-hmm. You definitely catch a little too comfortable scent after a while, and it's almost to where you get to the rear of the town, where you catch a solid scent, leading straight into a forest.
PTSD.
How Nox?
The letter said to meet them outside of town.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they expected me sooner or later. He'll head in there carefully.
As you head in there, you see a familiar structure that you have seen once before, as Nox has put it up a total time of once in your company. And you recognize it as Nox's house. That he is magically able to make grow 30 times its size.
Such a strange druid. He'll go up and knock.
Nox. When you hear the knock, the enchantress is sort of mid conversation. You guys, at this point, the episode is kind of over from last time, what happened last time. You're just kind of making small talk. And you hear a knock at the door.
Well, the last time someone knocked at the door, it was her, so he's wondering what other demigods are coming. Oh, I wonder, do I actually have that ability? Quick memory check. Ah, damn it, don't have thaumaturgy, I was just going to wave my hand. Okay, yeah, I'd get up and go and open it.
Wow. Lazy.
I don't have thaumaturgy, I wanted it. Ah, damn it, I have mage hand.
Well, you already got up.
That's exactly how it happened too. You were like, "Oh darn, I could have stayed sat down."
Yeah,
oh well, too late.
you like open the door, you see that it's Fenrir, and then like you look at your hand and it's just glowing with mage hand, and you're like, God fucking damn it.
It's like, oh, now you come out. Oh, you're awake.
Druid, finally found you.
Just how long did you sleep? It's been days.
Has it? I'm not used to paying attention. Did you find your mystery?
Did we find our mystery? Don't think so. Not really. We had a look around in the library, but nothing too clear.
Well, we were going to travel to the capital next.
I believe that's still on the cards. Can't find enough information to make it worth staying around here for too long.
He'll just nod, but like get a little sniff. Be like, I presume someone else is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the enchantress is here.
He'll just like look over and be like, more guests?
Ah, yeah, I'm not sure you two have met.
We met at the same time.
Yes, they did.
Wait, was it Mason?
It
who
was
did
you.
It was that was it. It was Mason.
No, it was you and Fenrir, because you and Fenrir went to your city, and then you met back up
Yep.
with Mason at his city.
Yeah, that was it. So it was Mason who missed it. Yeah, my bad. I'd just say yes. The enchantress has dropped by unexpectedly, and like as he would say it, he'd sort of frown and realizing just how bizarre it is that she's all the way out here, and then he just kind of shrugs, and they do what they do.
Very far from your garden.
Well, I am traveling in the direction away from this continent. There is a port that I will go to, and I will board a ship and leave.
The Undying Land.
I didn't know that there were other continents, although I suppose I was not exactly near ports. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to think if that would make sense for your character, though.
He was in the middle of the.
Yeah, that's true. And plus, he
Uncharted
didn't
Land.
I lived
have
in the-
much access to education, so he technically wouldn't know that this is the only continent that people know. So that
Well, no,
checks out.
I'm thinking of it the other way. He hadn't heard of other continents, but had little reason to think that there obviously aren't any. So he's not flabbergasted. He's just, oh, I didn't know that.
She looks at you with like an raised eyebrow, like
Have you
something's
been living
off.
under a rock? Nox is just like stood behind him, like just slowly shaking his head, like, yeah, don't.
She kind of like
What?
raises her hands and like, I'm not gonna question it.
Like, nope, this is just him.
This is my capacity right now.
He is just standing there, like, weirded out that people are weirded out. Like, what's wrong? Doesn't everyone eat with their bare face?
No. I prefer a knife and fork. Preferably silverware.
That would get a raised eyebrow from
You know,
Nox.
spoons, knives, forks.
I thought those were projectiles. All they ever do is throw them at you.
Oh my god.
You see her like state of just like stop, and she's just like, how do I communicate to this person? Like, this is too much.
Etiquette failure. Abort. Abort.
No, they are what people eat with. Why would people be throwing them at you?
Ask them.
Surely you can sense his nature.
Yes, but most silverware is more of a colloquial term. Really, most cutlery or silverware is made out of iron.
Well. it
Only if
depends.
Tell
you're
that to the
in
scared
the
farmer.
presence of like kings or like high nobility will they be out of like actual silver, or in some cases, in some kings, because they're very vain, platinum.
So he'll say something that'll get the same thing across, but above table. Fenrir knows that. A lot of scared farmers don't.
Probably true. Probably true. But all the same, they are not necessarily weapons. You're not a fairy, are you? You're not
Furry.
part fairy and that kind of exterior?
Do I look furry to you?
I mean, you could be part fairy for all I know. I've seen
No.
some half fairies that look the same exact as you, so it doesn't surprise me.
No, I'm not a mountain fairy. Big
Then you
burly
got
mountain
nothing
fairy.
to worry about, unless you're in the presence of a king.
So you ran across our druid out of pure happenstance?
Yes. Her expression changes
Insight.
so quickly as like she like a full sigh of relief as he shifts the conversation away from anything else that just happened.
Do you want to insight the fact that she just happened to come across us though?
You can go ahead and do an insight check, yeah.
Like, very sus. 26.
So. The fact that she was heading this direction is completely and utterly true.
I didn't know
However,
that.
the fact that she came across you is not so happenstance as she saw your house. And she went, "Oh, I've heard the cat lady speak about this house," and went to it.
Who could live in a house like this?
Who can live in 2 balls?
Hey, don't judge my house, okay? You wait till I extend it.
He was
We brought
complimenting.
this up last time. Bring it back.
I'm gonna build an extension.
Oh, yes. Just make sure it's off the front door.
Yep. A grand promenade.
Is it going to be curvy?
Yeah, it depends. We'll just see how it forms. It depends what kind of wood I make it out of.
Oh, God.
Moving on.
Okay. I don't
So
know
a
if it
complete
went above
happenstance.
Fenrir's head or not.
So a complete happenstance.
Not entirely. I heard the cat lady say that Nox had a house like this. And so when I saw it, I kind of changed direction. Otherwise, you would have never seen me.
Well, I'm glad you dropped in.
Fenrir just stopped speaking awkwardly.
Cogs worry.
Anyways, it's getting a little colder. She casts her hand above the fire pit and a fire springs to life.
Do you prefer the room by the fire or the other one?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Would you prefer the room by the fire or the other one? Because she said she asked for our hospitality to stay.
I would rather have the room with the hearth.
Very well.
We will move on in the morning. He asks Nox.
Yes, it's been a long day. Mason's already asleep.
You look across the hall as Nason's in one of the hammocks.
Well, if I get some more time to myself, I might as well go hunting now that we're in the woods.
By all means. I trust you'll be able to find your way back easy enough.
So long as no magic is involved.
Nothing to mask our presence here. We're far enough off the beaten path.
He'll start heading. He'll just start heading out the door, kind of just nod at the enchantress, and then say to Nox, "Bright moon." Or actually, no, that's not. That doesn't make sense.
No moon.
Yeah, no moon. You can't just say goodnight by saying bright moon. That's sad.
I actually just came up with one. Ooh, that's a good
Oh.
one. I need to write this down. Wait a minute.
You want Fenrir to have his own way of saying goodnight, especially when he's leaving.
One second. I got a good one. I don't think it'll pertain to you much, but it mainly goes towards what is that one race? Um, the one that's like from the Dream Realm.
Dream Realm.
Oh, the ones that have got a higher self.
Yeah, those ones. Kind of pertains more to them. But I had a thought of that whilst you said that. I was like, oh, that would be a good saying. So it's may the stars brighten your dreams.
You can go ahead and say that. Maybe he learned it from Uller at some point, or just random around.
Probably just randomly around.
Cool. Yeah, he'll say that. May the stars brighten your dreams.
Happy hunting.
Yeah, he'll do that during the night since he just finished sleeping.
Instead of doing a whole hunting sequence, I'm gonna have you roll
Flash time.
survival for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was a Kalashtar, wasn't it?
That will determine your spoils.
No way I could apply my keen senses.
Yeah, go ahead. That would help, technically. That would give
Ooh,
you
crit.
advantage. Nice.
And it's actually the first roll too.
All right. So, you got a good haul. You were able to find a flock of deer, or a herd of deer.
Whatever.
I think it's a herd of deer. And you successfully get both the mother and the father. And you drag them back to Nox's house. And you divvy up the meat and all that. And you get a nice amount of rations. Now, I don't remember.
We don't need to keep track of it. Because we
Isn't
haven't
there
been.
better rations that has like meat and stuff in it?
No, it's just rations.
It's just rations.
But also, we haven't once been like, oh, you guys travel for 3 days. Use up the correct amount of rations.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
we
good
can
at
just-
that, okay?
Well, I mean, it's not fun for every table. So we can just he gets rations for us. He hunts quite a lot for one night, especially since you don't expect to be successful every day.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I'm just
they
gonna
can just
add
be
it.
impressed.
I'm gonna
and then
just go ahead and add to your backpack.
Okay.
Deer meat. And I'm gonna say because of your roll, you got a quantity of. Okay. You got a quantity of 25 deer meat.
Nice. So in the following morning, when he's got things mostly prepared and ready, he's like, I needed that. Long rest. Open night hunting. It's almost like I'm back home without any worries.
In the morning, as you awaken and as you get ready for packing your house back up, the enchantress has gone.
Shocker.
And
stole your
Catface
pasta.
comes up to you with a small letter within his mouth.
Sorry, I stole all the pasta.
Nox would take it, I guess.
Puh, paper tastes awful. Puh.
You're not supposed to eat it.
I know, but my tongue got on it. You see, there's like a small little wet spot at like because it was full. The folded bit was in its mouth, So like along the
Yep.
crease, there's like a small little patch of wet. Ah.
It hides one word that will be crucial to the plot.
It simply says, "Had to go. May your travels grant you fortune, the Enchantress."
No magic presents this time.
Druid, you know many strange women.
That would take him aback for a moment. And then he would sort of say, suppose I do. And he just sort of like shrugs, throws the letter on the fire, and starts setting about putting everything into its place, ready to take down the house.
Mm-hmm.
Bring down the house.
I will say the fire's not really going at now. It's more like embers, just left over from when the fire was going.
Yeah, probably enough to at least catch
It's enough
on
to
the,
burn the letter, but it's not like a roaring fire anymore.
Yeah.
Going to very theatrically sit there for a moment and then catch one ember and then burn out from that spot until it catches flame.
Well, Nox can also just use control flames to just move the fire over it.
Perfect.
You can manipulate the fire.
Only if he doesn't make it.
Yeah, I can imagine him just like watching it out the corner of his eye for a minute, then just getting frustrated and just waving his hand and it just engulfs in flames.
As you do that, you hear a scream from outside.
Oh, it's too early. And just sort of get up and go to a window.
Fenrir just
You go to the window
rips
and
out like
there's
a
a
dog.
woman screaming at the deer carcass with its guts and its heart and spleen kind of just laid about as all like
Fenrir
the meat.
like jumped outside. So
Yeah, as it's all just piled right right in front of this house.
What?
I'm
What is it?
glad you got a kill, Fenrir, but really? Decorating the lawn with it?
does your lawn pack up or something?
Well, I think it's time we made a swift exit.
But yeah, he went
You
out
may
to the
need
girl
distract
and
the hysterical woman while I take the house down.
yeah, the first thing he did was run outside and he like actually not comprehending asked her, "What is it? What's wrong?"
How could you do such an awful thing?
What?
Quick, someone get the guards.
Oh god, please don't tell me they're a protected friggin' species.
Not a protected species.
Tell me it wasn't a druid.
Nope.
Don't worry, you would find out after they died.
Just the traveler.
That is true.
Wait, is this girl just alone pointing at me, yelling, "Someone get the guard," into an empty forest?
So as you kind of look around, you see that there is like a group much further ahead who have now stopped and have kind of like turned back.
I'm curious what they're doing out this way, because we did head quite a way off the beaten path to set up.
They're not like directly along. They're kind of they're more on the beaten path, but they just heard the scream.
Okay. So Fenrir ran outside because a girl screamed, and then she pointed at him and was like, "How can you do this? Someone get the guards!"
Mm-hmm.
He's just gonna like glare at her.
Make me a make me an intimidation roll.
Let me double check one thing.
Gonna say you glaring at her intimidates her, so go ahead
Yeah,
and roll
no, that's
intimidation.
kind of what I was going for. Uh, while I look this up real quick, anyway, I could use strength instead of charisma.
I mean, you could kill her.
No, I mean like
Launch
the
the deer carcass
saying like,
at her.
oh, I'm intimidating because I look angry at you and I'm a very large fella. I'm not intimidating because charisma.
Yeah, having it go
charisma
purely off the
technically does
charisma's
cover
a
your
little
body
bit.
language.
It always
he have
feels
one of them
weird when
special
someone like,
control
oh, I am giving away murderous intent, and they're like, it didn't come through clearly.
Yeah, well, you kind of just exclude murderous intent.
Just shift.
Maybe.
Shrift and shred her to pieces.
I.
Other people are coming closer.
Okay, no, I can't add. My superiority die to it.
I mean,
Sadly, I'm not very
you can intervene
intimidating.
if need be.
You glare at her. She glares back twice as much. And she's like, you should know better.
You should
Oh,
know
enough of
better.
this. So Nox was focusing on trying to take the house down, and then he turns around and in one movement takes the cloak and the pendant off, and also uses his what's it called? Twilight Sanctuary ability. So
Wait, didn't you lose Twilight Sanctuary when you came wildfire?
No. That's from being a cleric.
Oh, that's from being a cleric. Never mind.
So literally in one movement, he sweeps the cloak off. Darkness starts to spread out from him. Glowing yellow eyes, 7 foot tall. Hooves, foxtail.
She screams
fangs.
at the top of her lungs, demon. So loudly that it is before your Twilight Sanctuary can envelop that you now see the group that was just going over for curiosity's sake as to like what's going on over here is now in a full sprint to your asses.
Wow, they run to the demon. That's bold of them.
Technically, I haven't told you what they are.
Yeah. I'm still. So. She's gonna yell, like really loud, and Fenrir's gonna like flinch, like that just absolutely hurts. And having a nice charisma and intelligence of 8 is just gonna be like, shut up, hit.
She kind of cowers back a little bit when you yell at her like that.
He's like wringing out his ears. He's like,
I before E. Jeez.
why must you come in here screaming?
Why do you have to kill innocents?
He'll just like, you are uncomfortable with nature?
This forest is protected by the royal family. There is no hunting allowed within it.
Nox stops his advance, looks at Fenrir and go, "Oh, we definitely missed that sign."
You humans, all your rules. This is unnatural.
Did the
We'll
predators
be
leave
off
Taurus
to,
men on
to a
town?
different forest then.
Won't matter
Next time.
anyways. They're come to kill the demon. And she glares at you now, Nox.
Yeah, Nox has a spell prepared.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to use?
And it is... For God's sake. Magic Circle.
Wait, doesn't that take like 10 minutes?
Casting time's 1 minute. But she's been talking all this time.
Oh, so you've just been casting a spell the whole conversation?
Plan is, the second they stand anywhere near her, he would cast it around all of them.
Also,
what does the
doesn't
spell
Magic Circle...
do?
You create a 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall cylinder of magical energy centered on a point on the ground that you can see within range. Glowing runes appear wherever the cylinder intersects with the floor or any other surface. Choose one or more of the following types of creatures. Oh, no wait, I take it back. That won't work because it only works
Yeah, I'm
in
like,
Celestial.
that doesn't do anything to humanoids.
Humanoid.
That's interesting.
Okay, but...
Never mind. My whole fun idea just went.
Okay. Fenrir will start looking at the people that are probably getting really close at this point and be like, and next time, perhaps you shouldn't be so bold.
It won't matter. The two that are running here are blood hunters.
Is that...
That's kind of bad news. Because they are powerful people.
That's not the Silver Dagger.
I'm sorry?
That's not the Silver Dagger, though.
Nope.
I was trying to remember, like...
This is more of a profession.
Yeah, that's
Then
what Dante's ult was, and he was just absolutely obliterating stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are they arriving at us, like, right now, or is there time to yell...
There's a little bit of
a
time.
sentence or two back? Fenrir will just yell at, like, just absolutely, like, obviously angry and possibly itching for a fight anyways, yell, "We will leave peacefully."
It won't matter. They're not going to really be caring about you anyways.
You did yell
as
it
much
at them.
as filthy credence as you are.
You did yell it at them.
Oh, they're too far away. And the
Too-
Twilight Sanctuary is kind of covering a lot of this.
I mean,
Well, in that case, Nox is going to put his pendant back on.
It won't
Because
matter.
if it's covering a lot of it, they wouldn't have actually seen him.
Yeah. But she did.
she'll just look at it
She's
like,
also hysterical.
yeah, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
would they care about you?
I'm sure they would.
He'll, I suppose she can't see him right now, but he'd be smirking.
Couple seconds.
Okay. Perhaps I give them something else to chase after.
Oh, really? And what would that be?
Ugh. Nox, quick glance. Yes or no? Can you do you understand my thought?
I know exactly what you're thinking.
I
I'm
am
just trying
uncertain
to.
if it's actually helpful or not.
Well,
It is funny though.
at the end of the day, I've got. It takes 10 minutes to take the house down. So either way, we're screwed.
I mean, would you rather fight them both together right here, or see if I can get them to run another direction and just leave them in the dust?
Flight is definitely an option. I mean, out of context, Nox is considering the fact that technically Mason's in the house.
You know what? Either way,
Technically, yes. Technically, they're also the hunters aren't also at a great vantage point, and you're forgetting about something pretty pretty base level that you used to do all the time.
Well,
But
yeah,
I don't know if you
considered
still have
putting
that
her to
spell.
sleep.
the other thing is sleep just doesn't work if they're actually at this level. It doesn't work if they're actually trouble.
No. But if I put her to sleep, she wouldn't be able to tell them that what she saw.
I presumed they saw.
But it only lasts for a minute.
I presumed that they saw.
No, they were too far away. All they heard
Okay,
was
so they haven't.
screams.
They just heard this girl screaming a whole lot.
Yep. And they're on the word of demon, they started going faster. Because demons
Alright,
are a
well-
threat.
He would, in that case, yeah, I was thinking I couldn't put them all to sleep. I only really need to put her to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's different than what I thought the situation was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
they're still a bit far away.
You want to try that real quick, and then
Hey, let's have a look at this level. How many dice?
Rolling for sleep.
Yeah. I've got to figure out how many dice because it doesn't make it obvious.
I think it's 6, isn't it?
if you upcast it, it's more, which is the hard part.
Yeah, so it's 5 base level, and then it's 2 per additional level of the spell.
What do you
So-
cast in that?
4th.
Which
Okay.
is base? Or is sleep?
No, it's a first level
Um,
spell.
Oh, okay.
That would be 11. 11 dice.
Alright. Oh god, was it 6s? Or 8s?
Oh no.
8s. And I'm hoping she's just a friggin' peasant. Oh wow, that's a lot of 3s and 1s. 54.
Curious. Nope. Okay. She drops to sleep.
Finra will catch her and hold her.
So, as you do that, after a couple seconds afterwards, they come up to you and they go, "Where'd the demon go? What happened here?"
And bear in mind, the second he did that, he would have pulled back his Twilight Sanctuary to hide it.
Finra's gonna walk up, holding her holding her and being like, "She screamed at some dead deer and yelled demon."
She accused us of being demons for not knowing the laws of this land. We are just passing through. It was a
Go
misunderstanding.
ahead and roll me. Deception.
Wow, you have the 2 weakest charisma characters.
I mean, it's fine if we
Didn't
Honestly,
roll
if
that
we
great
have-
anyway, so.
if we have to
5.
fight them. I would be ecstatic as a player.
Mm-hmm. Fenrir.
Okay. Deception.
I love the fact that I can right click and roll to myself.
Oh hey.
noise.
Wow.
So, Nox, the second guy is kind of looking at you and he's kind of like nodding at what you're saying, like totally believing what you're saying. And Fenrir, the guy who is now taking the woman into his arms, he is totally believing what you say and goes, all right, we'll have to bring her to the nearest town. What direction did you say they went in? Oh, wait, you said the deer. Never mind.
Yeah, we didn't say anything about the demon. We said she was just using it as
She
an
said
offensive
she said that she saw
slur.
some dead deer and yelled demon, is what I said.
My thoughts process totally went to you accuse that a demon came through. I don't know
No,
why.
yeah. We said that she just overreacted and yelled demon.
Yep.
Yeah, because it just calmly left us.
They kind of just nod and they go, "All right, we'll bring her to a town to safety. Good day." And they leave. That would have been a gnarly fight.
It would.
Especially when she wakes up in a minute.
Especially with their certain abilities that they have.
So, Nox immediately sets about taking the house down.
Go ahead and roll me that D10.
You should do stuff like that more often. Like, just potential combats all the time.
I mean,
I will
FYI,
try.
that's the first time I think Fenrir is Nox in his natural form.
Is it? We walked together in the no man's land and you weren't hiding anything.
Oh, nice. You only got 1 damage.
That's
to
true.
yourself.
Oh yeah, it's Mason who hasn't seen him in his natural form. And he still hasn't.
Or
And
Mason.
when you mean natural, you mean like full wolf form, right?
No. He means Nox's.
Oh, Nox's
Horns,
form.
teeth,
Oh.
glowing
I
eyes,
thought we were talking about
boobs.
Fenrir for a minute.
No.
Fenrir full wolf form has been a staple.
Yeah. He's a furry boy.
My mistake.
Whereas Nox has just been appearing
You're making
as
fun of my beard.
unusually tall human. With weird abilities.
I was going to tell you guys after the stream. Not appropriate on stream. I just remembered. Because I dropped the thing and I remembered it.
Just casually having conversation is just like, I don't understand. Is like every human out here related to elves? Why does no one have a beard? They grow on their own.
Nox, once
Nox-
he's taken the house.
You get taken aback at that because now that he mentions it, there really aren't a lot of people with beards. Really, the only people you have seen with beards are from, like, the university, and they were mainly dwarves.
That's interesting. Because, I mean, Nox has a beard, but not in his human form. But it's more of a goatee, to be fair.
Like the one you have in real life?
Kinda.
Kinda?
So I was implying that Fenrir didn't know that people shaved.
Oh.
But it sounds like it's more just an actual question that we could ask.
It's now canon.
No,
like,
people
why
shave.
Yeah, he's implying that he didn't know that people shave and just assumed that anyone who doesn't have a beard didn't grow one. Which.
So, all of this aside, Nox would have finished taking the house down, and he would probably look at Fenrir and say, "Perhaps it's best if we keep a low profile for this one."
I suppose I was just starting to get relaxed.
Oh no,
It's
you like this. Nox would wild shape.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I go wolf or do I go stag? I'm gonna go stag. And then, like, he'd shift, sort of, shake his head and his antlers a bit, and then sort of nod off in the direction he wants to go.
Wonderful.
Fenrir, do you
He
change?
narrows his eyes momentarily as if to say, I'm not food.
Fenrir, do you change?
I mean, it's not going to be helpful.
I mean,
The right? Like
movement faster.
he gets to choose between looking like a human that lives in the woods and a monster that lives in the woods. So the lowest profile is probably the human part.
No, because if they come back for us, I know which they'll be looking for.
Both?
Well, why would they be looking for animals?
No, but they're like I can't look like a regular wolf. So if they see like werewolf,
He looks like a monstrosity.
like
What?
if
Oh,
they
okay. What's he got better stealth and movement speed on?
they're the same.
Okay, do what you like then.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, if a rando sees us, then human form's gonna be more.
I mean, Nox could always shift into a horse to speed up travel time.
If you wanna, direwolf works too. Can you turn into that yet?
I don't.
I don't
You need
think
CR1,
so.
which would be
No,
the
because
same
I'm not
time.
Moon Druid.
Yeah.
Well, Moon Druid get it earlier, but the other ones get it eventually.
I think they get it at level 6 Druid. I'm only level 4 Druid.
Oh, okay.
Because it is tied to Druid levels as opposed to overall level.
Multi-class.
Yeah, because I'm 5 levels Cleric.
Yep. The fun with multi-classes. Fenrir, I don't think you ever multi-classed.
Not yet, no. I want 3 attacks.
Of course you want 3
I am-
attacks. It's a
I
surprise.
am considering eventually going into having Fenrir learn some Druid stuff, but that's just a maybe.
Yeah, I'm max half CR
Mm-hmm.
on my wild shape, so
This is the longest I've gone so far with a single class. I typically multi-class everything. Okay, but
I
yeah,
mean, in that case, I could shift into an elk because that would be large enough to ride.
okay. We will
And
be
wouldn't look
forest
out of
man
place.
riding elk.
Yes.
And
With
we
a
can
cat
just be off.
perched upon its ass.
And it would just allow me to make like the wind. 50 feet of movement speed.
Is there
So,
a
yeah.
separate movement speed for if you're carrying people?
No,
No,
large
so
beast
it-
would be able to.
So the way
carry
that
that,
it
no
works
problem.
is its carrying capacity.
Okay.
You get a carrying capacity that you have, and then one that halves your speed.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, all of Nox's stuff is shrunk down in a little house, and Fenrir doesn't really need much equipment.
Yeah, I'm carrying like a bow and a sword.
And maybe
so-
a 10, 20-pound cat.
I will also say large creatures get quadruple the capacity too by default.
Yeah.
Alright. So, as it is early morning, you sprint through the forest on this thing. You go around, you do a twist and a turn and a twist and a turn and go in between trees and stuff. And by the time nightfall comes, across the river, you can see the castle. Well, you can see the city. But you could also kind of see the castle, because the castle's kind of lifted a little bit higher than the city walls.
Talking half to himself and half to Nox, will just be like, the capital.
Fenrir,
So
even from afar, you know this city is big.
I look
Right.
a tad anxious.
Big.
It'll be hard to find anything out of the ordinary, but If it has something to do with the sick king, then perhaps we can filter our search.
Do you enter the town now with nightfall coming down, or do you guys want to take a rest and go in the morning?
I'd probably move a little ways upriver, so that we're further away from any paths. And
So upriver meaning towards the mountains?
yes,
Okay.
and settle up there. But he wouldn't set the house up this time, so they can make a swift exit if they need to.
You see there's a nice little the what's it called? The riverbank kind of goes down into like a nice kind of rocky thing that that you can go straight into the water with. And the water is nice and clear.
In that case, once they sort of get close to the water, it'd sort of go down on all fours, and once Fenrir gets off, he would shift back and set about setting up Liamon's tiny hut next to the water, where the water passes just inside.
We get to spend the night looking at the stars. Super cute.
Yeah.
Alright. So you set up. Throughout the night, nothing happens.
Do we learn anything about each other?
Alright, do you learn anything about each other? Do you learn each other's dick sizes? Did you guys whip them out and measure?
I remember we brought up like party games, but that was just that never went anywhere, so we could just move on too.
Party games?
You know,
I
those games where
remember
you just
party
like
games.
ask each other questions. I just thought it'd be funny. Okay.
Alright. So, night goes on. Stars bright. Morning dawns. And you see in the distance 2 men on horses. Who has better sight? Roll me perception, both of you.
Okey-dokey.
You guys are safe in your little hut, but let's see.
19.
I'm busy.
What are you busy with?
I've got visions of him like splashing about in the stream trying to catch a fish.
I do too now.
It just seems so fitting.
It really
safer.
does.
The water doesn't
slipping
attack
through your
you here.
fingers. Nox, you recognize them as the same 2 men you saw the previous day.
Oh, of course. Nox would
Fenrir makes
hiss
a large splash as he dives in.
Oh, for the love of God. Are you within the tiny hut?
I don't know. I presume that this was like we woke up and it's been 8 hours.
I suppose it depends how late it was when we settled down, but
Is this when we're in the tiny hut, or is this after in the next morning?
This is next morning.
oh great. So the tiny hut would not have muffled that sound.
Nope.
You are itching for a fight.
Hey,
Um, You notice though that they don't seem to hear. You guys are pretty far away from the beaten trail.
it's a splash in a river.
That too.
That's true. It is going to be making watery, splashy, burbling noises
Yeah.
anyway.
But you guys are also pretty far away. You purposefully went pretty far away from the
True.
beaten trail.
Druid, the water doesn't attack you here.
That's a really far harken back. Oh my god.
That is a point. Oh my god.
That
remember
went
when-
real far back. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot
remember
about
the
that
wild
until you
magic
mentioned
thing
it.
The wild magic thing that caused Nox to have a phobia of water during that fight.
Yeah.
It's like I can
Nox
splash
was
around
just
and nothing
about
will
to
happen.
shout, Fenrir, and then he said that, and he just like stops and shudders and has to compose himself for a moment before
Remembering a sphere of water. Inch.
before quietening down and sort of like saying, "Come here."
He'll get up and walk over. One moment.
And Nox would be sort of crouched low, and he would point into the distance.
Oh, there is a fish in his mouth.
It's the two from yesterday. I would imagine when she woke up, she told them what she saw. I don't think it would do well exactly to be caught hunting again within this area.
He slumps over. The fish wiggles in his mouth. Also, I crit my self roll for catching a fish.
Nice.
Nice. Yes. After a little bit, they head into the city.
Oh, great. Of course they're heading in there. So it seems we have to worry about blood hunters in these lands.
I don't see the problem.
Have you ever fought alongside one?
No.
They wield strength 3 times that of a normal man. And they curse their enemies.
This does not sound very frightening.
Well, I hope it's not a lesson you learn.
Alright, I will avoid them if I see them.
Did you get a good scent of them when we were with them last?
As good as any?
Try and keep your senses open. Or if they are nearby.
Alright.
You may need it in the city.
And you guys cross the river into the city of Black Barrow. This large ass city. Now, from where you guys cross the river, you guys are over, right in front of you now is all farmland.
Is there a reason that the map is upside down of the city compared to the map of the world?
I did this pretty hastily. I didn't have time to adjust. It's not upside down. It's more of
Is that the river and not the coast then?
So this is the coast.
So it is the coast.
That's the coast, because the city bumps up to the coast.
But the coast is on the right-hand side on the world map.
I
and
know
it's on
the
left-hand
coast
side
is
of the-
supposed to be on the top. I'm sorry. I didn't have enough time to fucking do this.
So when you say it's not upside down, you mean it's upside down.
Okay. If you make your north, go to the coast, you're fine.
Okay.
Yes, just tilt your head, and there you go. I have time. I'll fix it later.
Oh, right. Anyway, sorry.
So we were in the farmland?
So where you crossed over, right meeting you a little ways after getting out of the river is farmland. If you go a little bit to your right, you'll hit the slums.
And in the distance over the farmland, with the slums to the right, we can see the castle, well, the city walls.
The castle is just so, like, the peaks of it is just peeking out above another set of walls that are a little bit higher, and then the castle peaks are kind of above it. The castle sits upon, like, a hill above the city.
Fairy tale style.
Yep.
So as we're getting closer, I guess Nox will just, or Fenrir will start talking to him as we're going around the edge of these farmland. Do you think a king will just have a conversation with us because we asked?
Nox would just stop walking and just like look at him with the same kind of look that the enchantress had.
Because otherwise we'll need to find out how to start investigating it.
It's pretty big news. I would imagine everyone in the city will be talking about it.
But we need to investigate details.
Well,
You think they'll have them?
all rumors have some basis of truth behind them. We just have to weed out what's correct and what's not, and maybe find a network of informants. Mason tends to be fairly well connected with such things, so with any luck.
So where should we start? If we poke around too much, those two might find us if they are indeed looking. But elsewhere they may not have the answers we look for.
I take it, like, places like this would have kind of hostels and stuff, as opposed to actual inns, and the like. So places where lots of people come and go, don't really get noticed and that sort of thing. So, yeah, Nox would suggest going for somewhere like that.
In which case, I assume you would go more towards the slums and try to ask around to find a place like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Looking for somewhere sort of low value, high traffic.
They would pretty much all direct you to the Kraken's Drink and Inn. A bar and inn within the docks district. As you get the feeling that most of the slums is really all just housing.
Those darn suburbs.
There's no, like, businesses. And if there are, they're like general stores. Or like day-to-day need, like, stores. Not like
And I would
inns.
imagine like carts and stands of selling one product.
Yeah, there are some carts.
Watermelons.
There are some carts selling various food and grains. That's what the farmers typically do. Is they have carts with their goods for what they haven't already given away to the crown and to other more lucrative like businesses like bars and inns and things like that, and like bakeries.
At this point,
and
we'll
things.
talk to each other in
These are a
Sylvan.
little bit of the surplus that they sell over to the slums to like make a little more dough.
So at this point, while we're in the city, we'll probably talk to each other in Sylvan, just because we can. So
Yeah.
after he gets like some basic information, we'll be like, "So we're traveling into the city proper."
I guess we need to travel through the heart of it to get to the docks.
All right.
As you get to the gate, you see several posters posted, and a guard comes up to the two of you and goes, "Are any of you druids?"
What?
No, sir, I'm a cleric.
Clerics are needed as well, but not as much as druids. You are to report to the castle, and he hands you a card.
We are foreigners.
Don't matter.
I was about to say that's not a profession.
Yeah, Fenrir is just weirded out. He'll just be like,
The king is requesting that any druids or clerics, passerbyers, come to him to see what kind of illness he has. It has gone
May I
so far
accompany
that
the
we
cleric?
have to ask travelers as well.
"May I accompany my ally, the cleric?"
Yes, you may. But you will be stripped of all your weapons.
Here you go.
Not here, at the palace
Yeah, I
gate.
was about to say Nox was about to go, not here.
He kind of like holds up a hand to like be like, not here. At the castle gate, they will take your weapons, even yours. And he looks to you, Nox.
You have
What you will be
weapons.
allowed
Yeah, you
is the
do.
tools of your trade, any elixirs, any herbs and spices, anything that can help ease ailments, those sorts of things.
I understand. We'll make directly for the castle.
Speaking at Nox, he'll just mention to him, "Great luck, I guess."
I wonder if it's
As
worth
you
booking a
enter-
room before we head to the castle.
And you go around one garden, and you
I
go.
presume that like yeah, someone's escorting us to the castle.
Oh yeah, true, would be straight in.
Most notably, you weren't really being escorted until you get to the Queen's Tavern, where there's a guard kind of standing around, and he looks and he goes, "Oh, you have one of the cards. Come with me." And then he directs you around the garden and up to the castle gate.
I feel like it's a golden ticket.
At the castle gate, they take all your weapons. They take they strip search you, finger in the butt and all that kind of jazz.
Sorry.
It's alright, Fenrir's used to thermometers going there.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I missed the last like 10 seconds.
I love that he missed it too. I said the cavity searched you.
Yeah, he'll find that particularly weird, but not, when everything's weird, the weird stuff is a little less standout.
I love that you missed it the first time.
He just assumes it's all normal, strange human stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, they just need to know. They just need to know
Yeah.
everything you have.
Are the people here predominantly human?
So the guards, yes. You see several servants, and they are beastmen. Many of them have a black thing around their necks. They're not like, it's not like a metal bar. It's a little more shiny. It looks kind of more like velvet. Not velvet. What's the really nice fabric?
Satin?
No. like silk. Except it's
Satin?
not. Huh?
Satin
Rubber.
is like silk, but not silk.
Sure, we'll go with that. I can't think of the name
But
of
you're
it.
thinking like cashmere kind of thing.
No, it's just a strip of cloth. I can't think of what it's called.
Is it stretchy or?
No, it is velvet. I am thinking of the right thing. It's velvet. I'm thinking of the right thing. For some reason, I thought velvet was something else. Nope, I'm thinking of the right thing. A piece of velvet around their necks, black as ink.
Can you? They're beastmen.
Yes.
Like, is that one thing or is that a category?
It's more of a category. So, pretty much all the races of the Tier Empire, which is all the animal races, basically, they would be considered beastmen. If you get down and dirty with it.
Okay. I assume Fenrir's experience with this is somewhat limited, but not zero.
You know of beastmen? y- Fargan and many other little tiny settlements have some beastmen within him, mainly beings, like humanoid beings of like elf or human standpoints. But there were beastmen scattered around. You got the lions, you got the minotaurs, you got all those kinds of races.
Seeming very interested, Fenrir's gonna point at them and ask Nox and Sylvan, why are they wearing collars?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
As you step now into the castle ground itself, you feel a kind of magic waft over you.
This could be good or this could be bad.
And one of the attendants come up and say, another one. Come this way. And he brings you into the castle. The castle's layout is very convoluted and makes no sense at all. You go upstairs and you go downstairs. And then you go up a spiral staircase and you go down a linear staircase.
I
And then
presume
you
all
go
of these places.
up like a long ass staircase that is a good 2-3 flights, and then you finally reach a grand set of doors that opens to the king's chambers.
I presume all of these pathways smell like they've been well walked
Yes.
recently.
Fenrir. Actually, I should have noted this before. But Fenrir, once you got into like the city walls, your senses complete overdrive. Like hundreds upon thousands of people sense all around you, all at the same time, all at once.
So Fenrir is acting like he has a freaking migraine.
Yep.
And
However, the castle has much less, so you're not as affected.
Release.
what is it?
What'd you say, Nox?
He asked Fenrir, what is it?
Too much going on. Too many people. Instincts are buzzing. Now I know why. Why? We're speaking Sylvan, anyways. Now I know why new werewolves just attack immediately the first moment they feel things in the city.
As you think you speak Sylvan, the attendant goes, werewolves. Interesting.
Did he like respond in
Translation magic.
Sylvan, or
Nope, common.
so he just?
Nox would look up and around and say, translation magic.
You know Sylvan?
I don't think so.
I mean, it would be fair for druids to have learned it, but like, yeah, Fenrir is gonna be pretty up on front asking questions like in common. You know Sylvan? Because he's trying to come up
No.
with a reason.
Whilst I was educated in Elven, Sylvan is not one of the languages of which I speak.
Then why bring up such a random comment?
Because you're the one who said it.
I repeat my question. Translation magic.
Yes. As well as several others layered upon this castle.
Nox would just quickly check his hands.
They already took weapons, right?
Your hands are normal for you.
It's normal. Okay.
Fine normal for me.
Um,
As in what I would expect to see or what I would not expect to see.
You suspect you're wearing the collar, so you are the amulet, so what you don't expect to see.
And this guy is perfectly calm.
Your hood's up, technically, so.
True, but my skin is still pretty much midnight blue, and my eyes are glowing yellow.
I don't really think he's paying too much attention. He seems to, roll me an insight really quickly on him. This will be an easy one.
I'll do that too.
24.
Oh, never mind.
He is more disappointed that he has to escort people through this castle to see the king than to actually care.
Upon seeing his hand and his claws, he would just pull his hood a little further down and his cloak tighter around him.
Fenrir will just continue and ask, you mind if this is between us? It's a private matter.
I couldn't care less. As he continues to walk.
Just nod.
Nox, as he's walking, would just, as he looks at his hand, he would just say, this could be interesting.
Give me like 5 minutes.
Okay. We'll just talk to each other in the hallway.
Yeah. Just give me like 5 minutes because I need to go apply more aquaphor to my tattoo.
Okay.
We will mingle and people watch.
Is there something going on with your magic druid?
Yes. This. And he would tap at the pendant around his neck. And as he does it, you'd see the skin on his hands and the long black claws that are usually human hands.
Oh. Is that not welcome?
They tend to misunderstand it and mistake me for something I am not.
Alright, I'm back. Okay.
Well, I understand that.
Rules of a new tattoo or getting it touched up is no direct sunlight. And as I look behind me is the sun.
Oh no, attack.
So I gotta go to my
Radiant
bedroom
damage.
that has curtains currently because I don't have curtains for this window yet. To go and apply a quick little thing of Aquaphor and then come back.
Perfect. Well, if they're as calm as they are with our conversation, hopefully it will be fine.
Not mistake apathy
He
for
he
calmness.
knocks on the door twice. He opens the door and he says, "Attention, your majesty, more peasants." And as you enter, he closes the door behind you. You see advisors as well as guards around the king's bed.
Finner is still hung up on peasants. He's just looking at them like, I have never tilled a farm.
Just the livestock.
Shrug. Looking forward, they've got a bunch of nobles. Is the king there?
Yep, he's in bed.
He'll just like look over and then look at Nox and just kind of look at them and then look at Nox and be like,
You summoned us.
The illness has befuddled all of us. We were hoping those more well-traveled could possibly know what this illness might be.
was there any event that led up to it that could have infected him?
It
An
was
attack?
a sudden. No incidents before nor after.
Did any diplomatic visitors come during the time?
Sick or otherwise?
None.
Guy doesn't get out.
Who has had
does he?
access? Go on.
Advisors, but other than that, a handful of top guards, and Her Majesty the Queen, as well as the Prince. But the Prince left 4 days before the King had any signs or symptoms.
That doesn't necessarily rule him out, though I understand it is not wont to make such accusations without evidence.
The king has declared that you may make any judgments out loud as long as you do not hard accuse anyone. Thinking aloud is welcome. No one will punish you for your thoughts.
Forward thinking indeed.
Well, to be honest, we haven't heard of any disease like this. You go and look upon the body as the advisors and the guards allow it. They don't allow you to touch His Majesty, but you see several noticing things. He has a fever, which you can see as his entire face has turned completely red, as well as red spotted legions. Now, they don't look to be any sort of scab-like ones. They don't look like they've got any sort of, like, heads to them. It's like a rash, almost, in terms of texture. But it's all spotted. And then one of the advisors chimes up. He has also been vomiting black blood.
And you have... How long has this been going on for?
Weeks.
And no
However,
others...
his condition has been the same. No worsening, no letting up.
So I would wager whoever has done this to him wishes him no real harm, just to make him unfit to rule.
Have you
And then
made
you
it?
notice something at the corner of your eye that raises your attention full-fledged. As you kind of have his arm lifted to see more of the legions, as he sets to put it down, there is no shadow.
Which, to me in particular, would be very striking. Given my affinity for shadows.
You look to your hand, kind of just like it's out a little bit, but it's kind of like in a sort of gesture, and you see that there's a clear shadow on the bed directly down.
Has there been any magic maintaining him in his current state?
No, not at all. Not that we're aware of, at least.
So when his arms and that have been raised, who's been handling him? Like, just as a player question.
The king's royal doctor would be.
And I can see, like, physical contact and everything.
Yes. You can see that there are some needle marks for some bloodletting to test blood.
I'm curious to try and see if I could discern if this was an illusion.
How would you do such a thing?
What's the rules for things like Phantasmal Force? Is it an intelligence check?
Yeah, you need to interact with it, and then you get to make an intelligence check. But
And
in
I'm allowed to
Phantasmal
touch
Force
it.
will only be visible for one person.
Oh, okay, so it wouldn't work on two of us.
No.
It won't work on a whole room of people, let alone the two of you.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if this was
At least
some
if I
kind
remember
of...
right. I might be thinking of another one, but I'm pretty certain it's one
I
person
mean, I was
targeting.
using that as an example. I was trying to think up reasons for it lacking a shadow, like if it was an illusion kind of thing or a projection. I mean, the other thing is a curse.
Yeah, it's a single
Perhaps.
creature spell. It's a single person.
The
Phantasmal Force.
that's just the one. Like that's the one that can actually hurt people.
Yeah,
Other illusions could fool everyone, but they wouldn't be hurting anyone. So that would mean that like the entire body's fake.
yeah. Well, this is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Like he doesn't have a shadow, so I'm thinking the entire body could be fake.
We'll just mention that out loud then. He's like,
Has the king spoken since we've entered the room?
or no, since we. Oh, okay.
No. He is kind
asleep,
of.
right?
He's also not. How can I describe this? He's also not really like lying down. He's kind of just sat up a little more. He is looking
seem-
upon you not with mere like pity or whatever. He's looking at you more with curiosity.
His identity has been confirmed beyond an illusion of a doubt.
Yes. There are anti-illusion circles casted around the entirety of the palace grounds.
So he is just
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
honestly Missing a shadow. No magic involved.
Missing a shadow, what I do not understand.
Look for yourselves. Hold his arm out again.
His Majesty just complies.
Are you seriously telling me that in weeks, not one of you have noticed that the man doesn't have a shadow?
Perhaps it is new.
This is particularly strange magic at work.
If we are thinking out loud, we have seen demon servants throughout the lands. Very rare. Attacking a king would be up their alley. Sadly, I don't know what method it could have done, or even what it could have been. But if we are searching for a motive, it is possible.
I think it is fair to say that no physical poison or disease could cause such a phenomenon as this.
Not without at least some magic.
This would be a hex or a curse.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to cast such undoing spells within the palace. Or its grounds.
Nox would sort of stand thoughtful for a moment and say, perhaps that is the plan. Knowing that you would have to take him from the safety of the palace in order to remove such a affliction.
Do you have such magic prepared, Druid?
I believe I can remove a curse.
With a shot?
But I couldn't do it here, as they have said. I don't know if even I can bypass the wards on this place.
Wait, what? I thought healing magic would work just fine.
They just said that they wouldn't be able to undo such a thing within the palace.
Anti-curse and counter magic and anti-magic spells would destroy the wards protecting the castle.
I presumed it meant they didn't have any casters.
No.
That's why they couldn't do it in the castle, because they didn't have someone in the castle.
No. They are more fearful that the protections upon the castle would break.
So
because it covers everything.
I did not think magic so imprecise.
Nox would look around at all of the attendants, looking for one that strikes as a court sorcerer or the like head of magic kind of thing.
No such person is there.
Okay, well, in that case he would say, you must have a court sorcerer assigned to the king, surely.
I do indeed. Philip, please get Hermes.
Nox would just nod.
I presume you have already called the local clerics?
I have. Although most curiously is you. Whilst anyone standing in the presence of any sort of ruler would bow their heads or do any sort of courtesies, you disregard all of that, and you got straight to work.
He'll look like a little confused and be like, courtesies? I am simply practical.
If you invited us off the street, you do not wish us here to pay pleasantries.
That is true, but after so much time and being within the people's eye for so long, ever since I was but a child, the bowing and the curtsying of people, they become a given.
I mean no offense.
I was not meaning any offense towards you either. Simply curious.
Such places of society are usually beyond us. We tend to travel the wilds more than the built-up areas. This is far from our comfort zone.
I can see that, even with your friend there. Tattered rags and all.
We're not usually welcome in such places, so to be in the heart of such is most foreign.
He'll just respond to the tattered rags and like hold them and be like, "They fit."
Of course, like, Nox is incredibly self-conscious of the fact that he is just covered head to toe in his cloak.
Easy
The
moving
king does
clothes are
not
hard to
seem
come by.
bothered at all by the fact that you are hiding yourself.
No.
The door opens and the same attendant goes, "Hermes, your sire," and closes the door behind him.
Did you allow your most trusted local clerics time to cast their magic outside of the palace?
No. We did not.
For all the miracle cures I've heard about these nations, it would seem unwise not to use them.
If they couldn't even identify a simple symptom in the last weeks, I doubt any of them could have cured it.
Although, most came with the mindset of a cleric or a druid, looking at nature as it's caused. You two went straight towards what I would presume would be the mindset of a warlock.
We've had recent problems.
Your affliction.
I'm sorry, Nox, what did you say?
Oh, I said there's nothing natural about your affliction.
And then Fenrir just like looked, eyes half shut from the top, very plainly. We've had recent problems.
No doubt. Hermes, we will descend into the lowest point of the dungeons. Are you sure, my lord? The enchantments won't reach us there. It will be safe to cast any anti-curse spell. Very well, sire.
As suspected, you do have places within the castle that magic can be used.
I do, however, we will have to clear it out, as you will. Guards, make sure it is cleared. And 5 guards leave the room. Your Highness, that area of the castle is not secured. There is no telling what can get in or out of there. If this can work, I will try it. What were you going to say, Fenrir?
If this is so dangerous, should the druid prey on his most useful magics beforehand? This is as much a question for Nox.
I'm good.
You're good? You got all the things?
I got all the things.
Okay, cool. So are all these protections from teleportation or other magics? It did not seem, well, more guarded than than a dungeon could be.
They're not down in the dungeon yet. You're still in
Oh, I
the.
know. He's asking them.
Oh,
Like he's
um,
like, oh, is this like teleportation or something? Like what a dungeon seems about as protectable as this place.
it bars so much that I don't even know half of what it bars.
I would imagine the tools of the trade for assassins: deception, moving without being noticed, illusion, all of
I
that.
I want to imagine it's like wait, you can't move stealthily here? And he like very carefully puts one foot down and there is a loud creak.
You
Yeah,
put
I've
one.
literally got visions of him just like this.
You slightly put one foot down, and you hear a clown horn.
If you try to move quietly, it will be loud.
Like, the quieter you try and move, the louder it is. So I then imagine
Oh
him
no.
stomping around to see if it's any quieter.
That's amazing.
Interestingly,
After
in this place, without all the illusions and everything, depending on the type of floor that's here, Nox's hooves would probably make an interesting sound on the floor.
Clink, 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 clink.
clink, 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 clink.
Maybe I've just got fancy shoes on. Wooden
No, they just
clogs.
sound like boots.
Hobnail boots.
Clop, 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 clop.
And you and your steel-toed boots.
As long as I don't start skipping, it'll be fine.
After a while, the
Not skipping
Hermes
is
comes back and he
healthy.
says, "It is cleared." Alrighty then, and the king gets up and starts to move forward. Follow me.
Nox should fall in at a reasonable distance.
He leads you through, and again it goes up and down and up and down. And then
Old
across.
man definitely gets his steps in.
And then up again.
Looking to the side. Is anyone going to help him?
And then down. He's able to walk on his own pretty helpfully. He does use the wall every now and again to steady himself, but he can pretty much walk on his own.
So it's more that he appears to be unfit to rule at the minute rather than actually is.
Also, puking all the time isn't fun.
No,
There are several points where you have to stop where he's puking some more blood.
I've just got visions
You know the worst
of
part
his,
is?
court sorcerer just sweeping his hand and prestidigitating the stuff away.
Pretty much.
In my novel, they just recently had
Or a bag of
3
holding.
characters get sick with the main symptom being coughing up black blood. So I'm trying really hard not to connect it to that.
I don't even know what book you're reading.
Do royalty have like a posh sick
it's a
bag
realm
that's
book.
just a bag of holding? You know how
reading
on an
Stormy or a novel. So,
Nox, go.
I was gonna say, you know how when you're on a plane they have the bags there for if you're sick.
Yeah.
But if you're royalty in D&D, it's a bag of holding.
As you get to this large black metal door with engravings in it, the king puts his hand upon it, and the door unlocks and opens. He lets the two of you in and closes both you and himself inside. He sets up a chair, he sits down, and he goes, "All right. Go ahead."
Fenrir sits and watches.
So trusting.
If he had a tail, it'd be wagging.
Nox has that brief moment of what if, like, I could literally kill a king.
You know, everyone has those thoughts.
Yeah. So at this point, he would step up in front of the king, well, I'd say he would kneel in front of him, and then he would
So
just
now
say,
you kneel.
"This is not out of reverence."
He chuckles at your response.
He said, "I will need to take your hands for this, but
As
do
you will.
not be alarmed." Because obviously, as he reaches forwards, he's got really unusual skin and the long black claws.
What manner of creature are you?
An unfortunate experiment of this Church of the Saviors.
Kings really are iron-willed, aren't they?
So you're the demon that has made the town in a roar.
Wait,
Nox
are we that
would
popular?
take his hands back for a second, and then he would just stand up and go and says, "I see you're made of sterner stuff than your subjects." And he would unhook his cloak and take it off.
My, what they have done to you.
Not just me, but another. We were combined.
Very
I'm-
trusting for someone who's only heard bad things. Presume.
I have only heard that there is a demon stalking around. My, do you look like one indeed? Question
How long
is
have those stories
why?
been there?
Isn't it?
To most,
How-
I look human, but your magic here breaks the illusion.
Ah, yes. The amulet across your neck. It is
Correct.
being suppressed a little. The illusionary charm is the largest and the hardest to break. It cannot be broken without physically etching out the seals themselves, the runes carved within every wall and every surface of the palace and its grounds. So it still works all the way down here, but the others are more concentrated. And because of that, any anti-something can disturb them.
How long has the stories of the demons been around this town?
Oh, since last night.
Okay.
Okay, so it is me. Okay.
Yeah. See, that was our thing of like he could be confusing us for the thing that we're looking for.
Like, oh, maybe we've actually found the other one. Okay. He said, "Well, although I have inherited some traits of my makers," he says through gritted teeth.
Oi. Catface
Oi.
kinda.
Huh?
Oi.
What are you doing here? I didn't take you in.
I'm
Hey,
always here.
he's pretty much inseparable from me.
I thought this place was warded from teleportation.
A talking cat. Now that's interesting.
Nox would gesture to Catface and say, "Meet my other half."
Hello. Why, hello there, Catface.
Has anyone said catface yet?
Nox would agree at him. Well, actually, no. Nox would agree at him as morose.
Morose.
And okay. Yeah. Fenrir just said, "What are you doing here?"
I'm always here.
Yeah, he has this uncanny ability to disappear in and out of Nox's cloak. Yes, this is my other half. When I said I was made out of multiples, this form is what remains of one.
I thought they were vile, but I did not think they were this sickening.
It is.
As you might or might not know, the religion of the Church of the Saviors is strictly forbidden within my kingdom.
Nox would visibly relax at him saying that. Like, really obviously, tension would go out of him. And he would say, "The only form in which I wish to live up to my demonic reputation is when I plan to tear them down."
When you what?
Already slain. Huh?
When you
Tear
what?
them down.
Oh, when you tear them
Tear
down.
them.
Okay.
Yeah. We've already taken out 2 of their angelic warriors. They tried to stop us fleeing from their lands.
However, their angelic warriors are the same and come back. Am I wrong?
Well, I still have the wings of one of them, so they won't get too far.
It won't matter. They already have new ones.
I could get quite the collection. Anyway, enough of me. We're here to help you.
Yes.
And now he would stay stood in front of him and reach his hands out again.
Mm-hmm.
And he would close his eyes and start chanting quietly to himself and cast Remove Curse.
As you do so, you see... Now, what level is the spell?
So Remove Curse by default is a 3rd level, and from what I can see, it's not upcastable. It just says, at your touch, all curses affecting one creature or object will end.
Okay.
Usually, sometimes the curse itself has special requirements,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not very mechanical. So usually you have to end up like kind of homebrewing it.
Yeah, the only other thing the spell actually says is if the object, if the curse is an object, like a cursed magic item, the curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded.
Mm-hmm. You should remember that last sentence.
I mean,
Nox.
you're not gonna throw away Fenrir, are you?
No.
Cast Remove Curse. It can be discarded.
Yeah, for the.
I don't think Nox realizes what I'm alluding to.
You're alluding to Mason.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, but
That's why I had this spell prepared.
Is it really?
Yep.
yeah, because he gets to repair his spells every morning. So
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I'll
Um,
need this today.
Anyways, you see that the legions are gone, and from what you can tell, and touching his forehead, you feel that the fever has also subsided. However, he vomits up still black blood.
There is a chance it will take time for your system to fully purge the effects. If you would wish it, we could stay for a day or 2 to monitor your condition.
I will allow it.
However, given the nature of your residence, I would appreciate it if you... Well... And he just sort of like shrugs, like alluding to his appearance.
Yes.
Fenrir is just sitting there confused. He doesn't know what you're
Honestly,
talking about.
I can't really do much about that.
Well, I like to think you can tell them not to attack me on sight.
Oh, definitely.
We can get a badge of approval.
Um,
I don't know.
a badge of what?
Approval?
He looks at you like you're crazy.
Some
Are you sure he's sane?
He's from another part of the world.
I can see that, but I wonder what part now.
He'll growl slightly.
Oh, he's from the Uncharted lands. I picked him up while I was there.
Mm-hmm. And a werewolf at that, too.
That would get a raised eyebrow from Nox. You are an astute one.
I have to be. It is life or death for me to assert whether or not a passerby is an assassin or a townsfolk giving me their baby.
Well, I'm glad I
No.
don't give off assassin.
That probably requires a little bit more cunning.
Yes, quite.
Now you are feeling slightly better, I trust, and out of earshot of the others. Is there anything you can recall from your observant ways of what may have brought this on?
There was one person who visited me. It was off the record entirely. Not even my closest advisors are allowed to know.
Go on.
His name
Is Dave.
was Kairu. Kiru.
Oh, so nice of him to spell it.
For your notes. No, that is me spelling it.
Kiru.
He came to me at night. I do not know how he was able to enter with all the wards, nor able not to make a sound without them either. He came, he poured a glass, we spoke a bit. He had a proposition, one which I declined. The proposition would have been very profitable for this nation. However, it would mean siding with a man as evil as demons.
Lord Petdan.
I speak of
Dramatic pause.
Lord Martin Delmont.
I'm unfamiliar.
He is the lord of this kingdom, although he is not very kind.
Well, if this assistant that met with you secretly cursed you, that would put him on the power level of the demon kin we've been hunting.
Basically, be his ally or he'll take you down. Contingency plan.
Yes,
Do
well,
you have a physical description?
unfortunately I do not. Like
But even the way
Nox,
he decides
he
himself?
approached me masked. Although the mask was quite distinct. I will show you a picture.
Okay. Finral then ask, I presume in your bedchambers? How many 10 day ago? I don't know if we use 10 day or not.
Yes. the image.
I literally just
The
opened
chat.
the
Paste image. Send.
session chat, and I was looking at the one above that, thinking, "Wow, really? He was wearing that?"
No, that was from our way earlier discussion about fursuits. Yes, we were talking about fursuits, okay? Moving on.
So, kitsune mask.
Yes.
You know, I feel like that would fit.
It's definitely something I associate with like an assassin type.
It's he's a part of the Akatsuki.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so then Knox would say, and why keep this from your advisors?
I fear a coup amongst them.
That would explain how he got in. I dare say some of them must already know.
Yes, but I also suspect that the black blood is due to them. I had a feeling the legions and the fever and the chateau-less was a curse. From my own deductions. However, the black blood is what intrigued me the most. Although what I did not count on was my right-hand mage not thinking that anything was curse-like.
Well,
He says that with
perhaps
kind of
that is
disdain
your
towards
man.
them.
I have a thought. If you are indeed correct in your thinking regarding black blood versus the other,
If you think that this mage worked with the cursed servant, well, I would want questions with him for our hunt.
Oh, I just think he was incompetent. Mainly.
If you have any information on any of your advisors that may have worked with this man,
None.
worked with this demon,
None
now
of
or
them
never.
come from his lands. I do not know of how they are connected. My spy network is investigating them as we speak. But as for
Well,
the
I will
black
offer
blood,
anyways.
that will persist for who knows how long.
I will offer anyway, since we are alone in a room. If you find yourself thinking that one of them is connected, we will capture him. Perhaps as aid with your men, or just on our own. But all you need to do is give us a direction.
Best be that I invite them, and you so happen to show up to such invitation.
While all this is going on, Nox is going to reach into his cloak pockets and pull out a load of like handkerchief kind of things and lay them out on the floor in front of him and start casting over time. And if I've got this right, I will be able to do this. So my plan is, I think these two spells will work together. To cast Glyph of Warding on them one at a time, and you can store a spell in them. and my plan.
Sounds like an expensive plan.
Well, if we're going to be staying here a few nights, I can do it.
Doesn't glyph boarding cost like a bunch of gold?
We haven't really done material components up till now.
And most spells don't have them.
Yeah. And gold cost. Spells like Revivify cost.
Okay, can't do that then.
Yeah. Because anything that's gonna cost like actual money or like priceless jewels, yes. Anything that costs like mundane things, I don't tend to worry about it.
If it doesn't have a price listed to the side, then you can use your focus instead.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few that have a gold cost, but it's not used up by the spell. A lot of the ones that see the future are like this. You pay 25 gold for a thing, but then you just have it and cast the spell whenever.
Yeah, see, the glyph consumes it.
That's why I was like, oh man, 2 glyphs of warding? This is an expensive plan.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he'll help pay for it if you want to, like, suggest it, but...
Well, no, because I wanted to do it in this room before, because once we're out of this room, his advisors are going to be everywhere.
Either way, if you want to read through that some more and come up with plans, Fenrir is going to hyper-focus
the irony
on
is the
his
spell I was
target.
going to store is completely free, but the actual glyph effect isn't.
Yeah. I consider it a DM spell. It's really difficult for players to get the chance to use it, but DMs get to like just freely put it places. But Venrir is gonna hyper focus on the target and continue asking questions to the king about the meeting he had with the offer. He's like, how long ago did this occur?
Right before the symptoms started.
You'll have to excuse my ignorance. Is that a month ago? 3?
Couple weeks ago.
Nods. From what they said, I am not looking for contents, but do you think that they would still be around, close by?
Possible. But it has been weeks. Who knows?
Did they ever make an implication that they would be back for a different answer?
No.
And DM, I presume there's no chance I'm tracking someone who was there 3 weeks ago, especially not for a
Nope.
city.
Especially one in a place so warded.
That's not the problem. I'm trying to sniff them out. Like, that's not gonna be a magical thing. Perhaps you, yeah. But
While they're having this conversation, Nox would move behind the king and place his hands on his shoulders, just very lightly, and use Detect Poison and Disease. It takes like 10 minutes, so it'd be casting it slowly while conversation was going on.
You do detect poison.
You identify the kind of poison. Specifics.
it's poison from a
Poisonous thing.
mechanical bull.
It is from a plant.
Aw.
A plant foreign to this land.
Okay.
Let me look up the name of it really quickly.
where it says that you can identify the kind of poisonous creature or disease in each case, I know I'm kind of realistically thinking that you could do it if you'd studied it, but if it was a completely foreign substance, you would acknowledge what it is, but not really
You might not know
it unless
history,
you
like,
then
oh
encounter
yeah,
it
this
again.
could be found in this region of this place.
Yeah.
You know that
you
it is definitely not native to this place, as the only place
Mhm.
you've ever seen it grow was in the Uncharted Land.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you mention this?
So he would say, you're quite right in the fact that the poison is of local administration, but the plant itself by which you are being poisoned, that is certainly far from local. It is one that Fenrir might be more familiar with.
Eyebrows raised.
Would I know?
Do I have experience with like people with,
Yes.
you know, just copying up black
It
blood?
is highly deadly to you, particularly Fenrir.
Oh,
Wolfsbane?
Mm-mm.
rosemary.
Viscum album.
Yeah, he'll just have wide eyes and like, are you able to cure something, even something so potent?
Would I take it if I know what it is? Would I know whether it has whether the effects of it would have lasted this long time from one dose, or if it's constantly being administered, even at like a low level?
You do not know. You do not know enough about it.
Can you cure it?
I'm not sure. It's not exactly a magical one. However, what I can do is imbue you with protection from poison. But it would have to be refreshed on a regular basis, but it may give your body the time needed to start to fight it while I find out more.
I will let Hermes do this. You focus on it. I will keep him beside me.
I would still like to check on you occasionally,
That will be fair enough.
just in case Hermes does have anything beyond incompetence to do with this.
Yes, I do, though. He is bright, but he can be daft at times.
Could you call him in? Obviously, I know the king has to actually touch the door to unlock it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and the door opens, and the king stops all advisors from entering, and he says, Hermes, please enter. Hermes enters, and the king closes the door.
So I take it Hermes would immediately see that all the lesions in that have gone.
Yes. He goes, oh, why, thank you for helping His Majesty.
And then he would probably actually see me.
Oh God, a demon!
I would have assumed a wizard more mentally.
He has a fireball in his hand.
More
Nox
wits
is just
about
like
him than a
looking
king.
at him deadpan. You would cast a fireball in the room with your king.
I have protective spells that I can use to shield the two of us.
You didn't look like you were thinking that through enough.
Be still.
And really, fire against a demon. He would look at the
Fireworks.
king, and then he would just look at the king, and then go, I see what you mean.
He is more of the mind of research and such, but he does know how to cast a vast range of magics.
Nox would literally just
In
wave
short,
his hand.
he is a wizard.
Yeah. Nox would wave his
Wizards
hand
can't heal
and
very
cast
well.
create water to create a globe of water around the fireball in his hand and just extinguish it. And then let the water drop and just soak the guy's like sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
It was a curse and a poison.
Interesting.
So we have two things to deal with. The curse is gone. However, I need your help going forwards to assist your king from getting over a significantly potent toxin.
Three
I have some
things.
ideas.
Three things.
Mm-hmm.
We also must find the one who put it on him.
That will be handled by the spy network. Trust me,
I
they are
insist.
already in each of the advisors' homes searching far and wide for any information.
I also care
believe-
about the meeting.
I believe this Kiru that you mentioned is the one that we are seeking. His capabilities and methods, and the particular poison you have been poisoned with, all point towards it being so.
Do you have scrying magics?
None such magic shall be within these walls. Nothing shall be written.
Then we'll
about
then
these
we'll walk
events.
out.
These are to be national secrets.
As we pass through the city, I may be able to try to locate the particular plant at which you've been poisoned with. Any local collection of it would certainly direct us towards clues for him. But
That is true. What did you say the plant was called again?
Biscamalbum is
Interesting.
native to the Uncharted lands.
That is unsettling. We do not
Yeah.
border the Uncharted lands, so getting it here is quite a feat.
You said this Kiru was not of this land.
Yes, he was different. I do not know from where.
I have an inclination. However, more immediate concerns your health and the poison.
Yes.
What I recommend is this. From now on, you do not leave his side at mealtimes, and he gestures towards Hermes. For every meal, every drink, you will cast upon it to detect poison. And he says to him, try it now upon the king, and you will sense what it is you are looking for.
He does so. I see what you mean.
Any hint of this, and he does not touch it.
Although, I have studied this plant before.
That would definitely cause Nox
Although
to
I
stop
did not know
mid-sentence.
it as Viscum album when I ventured into the Uncharted land when I was still an apprentice. This was maybe 15 years ago at the most. The locals called it mistletoe.
is a sacred plant among druids.
It is a poison.
I have never known it used as such.
Mistletoe is one of the famous poisons of werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that to Nox it's a sacred plant, and it's probably only just now dawning on him why it seems so strong and so familiar. But he's never encountered it having been used as a poison before.
I mean, it's like silver. If you put, if someone drank some
Yeah.
drops of silver, oof.
He would be visibly surprised. Never heard of it being used as such. My first focus was mistletoe. You traveled the Uncharted lands. That is most unusual.
Yes, I was an apprentice under a great mage. He traveled there every once in a blue moon, once in a. I don't know what would be the equivalent
Okay,
of
a blue moon happens about once a year.
Actually, it happens a little more often than that. But
Slightly, but like if you say once a year, that's like practically the same thing.
around once a year. One time he took me with me. It was dangerous.
It is a horrible place.
I feel like you guys are just trying to offend me.
We spent some time in a specific place. And he thinks for a moment. To explore the old map, and he goes, I believe the village's name was Balak.
Is that? Do we know what that is?
Nox does.
I mean, I presume I at least have heard of it.
You know it's one of the villages that are more
Tiny?
that are the tiny ones. Near Fargan.
I like how you say Nox does, and it's like, this was a long time ago. Nox
Yep.
Nox has never known
Nox
anything.
might, Matt doesn't.
Balak was where the door was.
Ooh, the dragon door.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Now his eyes would really narrow, and he would,
You know,
Look at
under
him.
such circumstances, such an experience is kind of suspicious.
Of all the locations, you went there. And you would, Nox would be visibly bristling.
What was the name of this master wizard?
His name? God, I have to think of another name now. Why are you asking me these things on the spot?
Because it really
Oh,
seems weird that he's being taken to the interesting spots looking at the plot relevant stuff right now.
Going
That
to
seems
fantasy
kind
name
of suspicious.
generator just really quickly because I don't feel like coming it up with myself.
Does it insight? Does
At
it
least
look
then
like
we
this
know
guy-
he's not like a major plot character.
But insight though, is he making up a name and actually he actually went there himself, but is trying to put the blame off on some imaginary person.
Yeah, he was no apprentice. He is the Sith Lord.
So does it look like he's trying to make up a name?
Insight.
He doesn't know who it is.
Nope, it's me stuttering.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just
Kinda.
glitching.
trying to find. I'm glitching currently.
I've never glitched before, guys.
DM's prerogative.
I'm trying to find an easy to pronounce name. God fucking damn it! Why are you giving me so many names that are so hard to pronounce?
His name is Sith Lord Evil Guy. It's a really unfortunate name.
Sneaky McShady.
He's been working his whole life to shake off that reputation.
His name was Groose.
So I thought you said Groot then. I was like,
Groose.
Groot.
Grus.
Russ.
Grus.
And what is it that you sought in this village?
I'm sorry, repeat.
What is it you sought in this village?
To make sure, as he put it, to make sure secrets of the past stay secret.
Well, unfortunately, they are no longer secret and the seals are being broken. One of the entities that we are here to hunt carries one of the keys. And is trying to take it back to his master to open that door.
Unfortunately, Grus is gone.
And
We
you
are
wouldn't have
endeavoring-
any issue then scrying
Tears
a
form
particular
in
mask
his
for me?
eyes as he says, he said he was passing through the invisible veil.
Oh, that's not so bad then. Maybe the cat lady knows him.
How is that not so bad?
The invisible veil is not death.
What do you mean?
I cannot go into the details. I have a promise to uphold, but know that he may return one day.
But I have dedicated myself to living up to his legacy. He's not dead.
Did you bury him?
I had a momentum burial.
So you didn't bury him. I doubt he's dead. I would imagine he was far older than you can possibly imagine.
I
I'm
was
still-
curious, as he is a goblin.
And to have known about that door, he is very old indeed.
What door? When he went off, I was stuck in the village. He would not allow me to go with him.
Well, that's probably for the best. Such knowledge could get you killed.
I'm still suspicious. I have seen humans fake such emotions before. Would you be able to scry a certain mask for me? Give me a direction.
Huh? I'm confused as to what you want.
Enmer is still
He's
trying to
he's
get
trying
a
to
hold of them. Yeah.
crack the kitsune mask.
Oh, he wants a replica
He's-
of the Kitsune mask?
No,
No, he
scry
wants it
it. You can
scried.
find out its
He's
location.
trying to track him.
Oh.
Like you kept being like, "Oh no, we have the servants spied on." It's like I don't care about them. Give me some
So,
freaking magic so I can
when
figure out
you
where this
said
thing is.
scry, my mind immediately went to scribe,
The
as in to
spell,
write
cry.
down.
The
No.
magical look into your orb and find out and look at them where they are.
Mirror, mirror
I'm
on
an
the
idiot,
wall.
okay?
Like, scry, would you be willing to scry a mask for me?
Yes, I would be. What does he have to do?
He needs to cast, like, I think it's a 3rd or 4th level spell, scry. We will describe the mask as the king does, and you just see it. Usually you hope for a clue. It might tell you its location, either that or you just need to look at it for long enough to get a guess on its location.
He looks upon the ball and he goes, "It is on a table in pieces. I cannot see any other details."
Let me actually just look up how that spell works for a moment. You guys can do other things for a hot second.
Right. Yeah, the reason Nox brought Hermes in was to talk about the poison and the poison plan. So he's going to say, you now know what poison you are looking for when you check the food and the drink. If ever there is a time where you are being watched and he has to consume the food, make sure that you cast protection from poison on him. If you are worried about being seen to do this, place it in a glyph in the napkins. And as he prepares himself for his meal, it will activate and protect him from whatever may be in the food. For long enough that he can enjoy his meal, and then you can purge it afterwards.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Why?
No, I'm looking at scrying. And I'm like, how is this supposed to work then?
My whole plan.
So the target has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, and we get to try once per day to see it for 10 minutes.
How does
he
an
would definitely
object
just
make a
get-
wisdom saving throw?
Upon what?
It would probably
though?
still be the person. I would count it as you have heard of the target.
Yeah.
The wearer of the mask, just, describe the point, place, and time. So it'd definitely be secondhand, and we don't have any
It
connection
would
on us.
definitely be possession, or garment. So then it would be
Well, no, we don't-
+5, but -4. So then it would be
No.
+1.
For the connection, you have to have it.
Oh. Okay, so
You
it
have
would
to be holding a thing. So we don't have the mask in our possession, so we can't use it.
But then I don't get the pluses and the minuses then.
Okay. So it's against your spell save DC. But you get a modifier.
So you add 5 to your spell save?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you need to get a 13 to pass, then you get to add an extra 5 to your wisdom saving throw because you're only known secondhand.
Oh, the target gets the +5.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that would be something like,
Okay.
if we did it by rules, it would definitely be a thing where like, oh, we'll try it.
Then
And
it fails.
And like, oh, yeah, so it fails today. It's like, okay, I guess we'll try again tomorrow. And like that kind of thing.
Okay. I just didn't understand the pluses and the minuses. I was looking at
Yeah,
this
that's
like,
fair. I thought it was
how
weird that they didn't.
did these work?
It's weird that they're modifying the roll and not the save.
Yeah, you would think that they would add that it would add to the target
Save DC.
number
Yeah.
and not
but
add to the roll of the
add
dice.
to the roll. Yeah, that's fair.
That would make more sense, wouldn't it?
It would. But so this will be something like I would ask him to try this daily because we can
Okay.
only attempt it once per day. But and then the other thing is if it eventually works, we watch him for 10 minutes and hope that there is enough information to glean where they are.
Well, you'd watch the mask, wouldn't you?
No,
Because what you're
it seems
describing
like-
is the mask, so then you would be targeting the mask, or would you be targeting the person?
So I would imagine you're still targeting the person. You just have no hope of having like a physical description or
Okay.
anything. Like
Okay.
you probably could do it the other way too, but
Okay.
that becomes a little weirder.
Well, it fails today.
Yeah. He'll just grunt a little bit, but that's to be expected. It's very little information.
With that, I believe you have a bit of research to do, and we have some kingly duties to perform.
He'll nod.
I will bid you adieu. Puts his hand to the door, lets you all out, closes the door. And that is where we're going to end the session for today.
Just looks at Nox. Do city folk bow? Do city folk bow? He's still stuck on being called out for not bowing.
Yeah, to kings they do. Some strange obsession.
And we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Ciao.